how do you avoid creating lead babies or creating dependency or like entitlement to these leads as you add this to companies?
It's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked that. And, I don't necessarily have the perfect answer. I think as long as you run a capitalistic sales office, right? Not that's in comparison to a communistic, right? You don't just give leads out. You get a lead, you get a lead, you get a lead, right?
Where's my lead?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the killers, right? The killers get the increased opportunity because the killers are far less likely to get lazy just because they're inherently motivated. Plus, when the lower level guys, maybe the newer guys, see the killers getting the additional opportunities, it motivates them to become their own killers. So all of a sudden, you've created the sales office of killers that just kick out anyone who's weak and develop that culture where everyone's competing. So that's kind of the best way I would do it. Only dish out the additional opportunities to people who are like as a business owner, they're your best return on investment.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I would add a word of caution. You might want to help maybe generalize, like you got to make sure that like now you don't have like the middle grade talent now being more and more jealous and envious of the killers because they're like, well, they're killers because you give them leads and you don't give us leads. So there's a balance of emotional balance. Like there's a dance you have to play. And if you're not cautious about being transparent or not transparent, when you're like, you know what I mean? Having this like emotional IQ to balance the team, because those guys are gonna be like, well, if you gave me as many leads as you gave him, I'd sell as many as him. And you're like, well, no, like, you know what I mean? So as a manager, you're dealt with a conundrum of lead dissemination. And my advice would be put a system, rules, roadblocks, systems, so that you make sure you don't destroy the culture and the, because guys, they're like wolves. They see a little piece, the little rabbit, they're going to eat as much of that rabbit as they can. And they're not like, well, I care about your livelihood. You take the leg and the head. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm going to just grab it. I'm going to just take mine. You know what I mean? And that's sales guys' mentality. So I would, if I'm a salesman listening to this, be cognizant of your, entitlement and the way that you're showing up for the office and how you're either contributing to the culture or you're distracting from the culture. And then if you're a owner and a leader, make sure that you approach this with some consciousness, because I think that you could hurt yourself sometimes more than help yourself if not implemented the right way. That would be my 2 cents. And I don't know if you'd have any input on that.
But I 100% agree. And really like things become real when that top producer who you've been feeding extra opportunities, when they do get lackadaisical and you do take that away from them, right? Then it's like, it shows everybody. It shows the top producer, shows the middle guy, like, hey, it's not a given. You have to consistently produce, right, to get those.
And then the other side of it is the second your lead flow slows down, that guy goes, where are my leads at? And you're like, I don't know. The ad's not working as well as it was last week. Like, I don't know. It's just like, and so you've got to have some systems in place to say, hey, this isn't a handout. This is a supplemental. We all still have the grind. We all still need to know where our roots came from. We all still need to know how to go self-generate leads and referrals and beat the streets, whatever that is. And I think that in any industry, you need to make sure you go eyes wide open when implementing leads. And I think it's a great supplemental. It's a great way to make more money. We shouldn't shy away from it. But I think that a lot of people just need to make sure that they know what's ahead of them before they just say, ooh, give me leads. And then they don't realize, oh, shiz, I freaking spoiled these guys. And now they're freaking entitled little lead babies looking for their worm. You know what I mean?
So yeah, as a sales manager and a business owner, you have to think about that.